Ladd McConkey for the 102/103 question mark. Steve?
He's trading Ladd McConkey for those picks.
I assume so. It's Ladd McConkey 4. So that's what I'm assuming, just like you. But yeah.
I can't really give it an educated answer on that because I don't know the draft class next year. That would be more of a straight dynasty guys like the mediators hit them up on Wednesday with that question. But I mean, in general, the second or third pick, it's going to be a pretty high player, obviously, but a very good player. Could it still bust? Yeah, for sure. And Ladd looks like he's going to be a thing for a long time. So
he's saying it's just for one pick. So it's either for the 102 or the 103. He's
right. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what your team looks like. I don't mind doing it for the 102. But Ladd looks like a sure thing. So you're going to have to hit on that pick, which isn't always the case. You could have the number one pick and bust on it. So,
Anthony, I know how much you love answering dynasty sort of questions in terms of draft pick trades for players. You're also a Ladd McConkey guy, though. So what says you on this one?
So the 102, 103, these are really high draft picks, right? So I think the bust potential is lower, right? Yeah. It's not like it's a mid-first where, you have your quote-unquote sure things in the first 3 or 4 picks, and then there's a little bit more bust potential. At the same time, Ladd McConkey, is he going to be the wide receiver one moving forward, or is there a world where they go get another wide receiver? That's my thing with Ladd. Right now, he looks like the real deal, especially the second half of the year. Since week 8, he's been over 14 PPR or double-digit PPR points in all but one game, and over 14 in all but 2 games. And then he's had the 2 games over 20, including yesterday. And I think there was more to be had, but he ended up leaving the game with, I believe, a knee injury. And what Steve is saying is correct.
He might not even play this week.
How I play Dynasty, and it's no secret, picks are worthless to me. I want sure thing players. And this is Ladd's rookie year. He's attached to one of the more talented quarterbacks in the NFL. This offense looks good. Now, right now, the offense looks a little bit weird because I do think they need that reliable running back like J.K. Dobbins. So, the past 2 weeks since the J.K. injury, the offense does not look the same, but Ladd has been eating regardless. I don't think it's crazy to say I'd rather have Ladd McConkey because, sure, could one of those two, 102, 103, maybe there's a Malik Neighbors in there. But, Marvin Harrison Jr., is there that much difference between Ladd, Marvin, and Neighbors right now? I don't think so. And Ladd is
that could
attached to the best quarterback.
The Giants get if the Giants get a quarterback worth anything.
But are you willing to roll the dice and potentially get a good player on a bad team with the bad quarterback? That's basically where I'm at.
If you think you can get Genty maybe with that second pick, then I would do it. Yeah, I mean Genty looks like he's going to be a freaking stud. So. Or maybe even if you get the second pick, maybe you could possibly trade up to get the first. So
I don't know.
Maybe that's the guy I'd go after if you're going to make that deal.
I don't know what side of this you are, Ethan, but I think if you're the Ladd manager and you can get the pick, I think I might do it because I think they're overpaying for Ladd McConkey.
He said he's already secured the 101.
Are you a legitimate rebuild?
It sounds like
the 1 and the 2.
Yeah.
So
no, he's trying to get the 2. We think
he could get the 2. Yeah,
right. He could potentially have. Yeah.
Here's where the context comes in. You already have the 101. Ladd McConkey is a rookie. He's entering his year 2. You essentially, with that draft pick that you might you already know you got a guy. You already know you got a dude. It's a hit regardless. He's in a good team, a good quarterback. Why do you need both the 1 and the 2? You already have the 1. You're going to get your best player, you're the best guy on the board.
I
You
feel
get
like
Ladd
it's kind of-
McConkey.
He could get Shador Sanders. He can get Travis Hunter if he wants. He could get Cam Ward. So he's got
But
a
what
lot of
if-
options.
but okay,
I don't know who these other guys are. Like I don't watch enough college football. Like I don't even know who Torra McMillan is or Luther Burden. But these guys are projected to go top 5.
Right, but
So I mean, either way, I think it makes sense. Even Ladd now, he's been a little dinged up. He's undersized. So like you said, he's probably overpaying for Ladd McConkey a little bit. Maybe it is the right move to do. And get that number 1 and number 2 pick.
yeah, I don't know. It's
Again, I don't know the draft class good enough, but I know Genti's going to be a stud. Like he looks like a beast. Shador Sanders looks good. I've seen enough of him. Travis Hunter looks like a stud. So Cam Ward looks like he could be really good in the NFL too. So there's some guys there. These receivers I never really seen before. I haven't paid enough attention. Obviously, I'll do my process, but I'm freaking in the thick of what's going on now. So.
I'll say this before we move on, more so in line to Anthony's thinking. Even if I'm not knee deep in the college players and who's coming up and who's going where and what the potential is for this and that, I'm kind of with Anthony, which I already think he's thinking, even though he didn't say it out loud. It's like you want to stockpile these picks and you want to get all these picks, 2 picks in the top 5. Like, all right, cool. So you get them. It's great. You get the shiny new toy. What does the rest of your roster look like? That's very important. That's why I feel like we always say context is key, but I feel like in Dynasty, context is key more so than almost anything else because, like, you're building something. So, like, what do you already have? Like, if you hit on these 2 top rookies,
it really comes down. Yeah, it really comes down to like if you watch these guys and you really love them, like you think they're going to be beasts, then go do the deal. Go do the deal.
Like, I guess when it's all said and done, it's like, okay, if you have the first and the second, first and the third, you make 2 picks, you hit on one, the other one's a bust. Or you get one, and then you're kind of hedging because you already know Ladd McConkey is going to be a pretty good player. Maybe he's not a top 12 wide receiver, but you got a top 15 guy attached to a good situation. It's almost like hedging. And again, in Dynasty, he's only a year 2 player next year. It's not like he's in year 5.
I'd rather hang on to Ladd McConkey, honestly. That guy was peppered with targets. He would have been peppered with more had it not been for a shoulder.
Yeah, he's good. He's legitimately good.
Especially if that league happens to be PPR, which wasn't mentioned. If that's PPR, just stay right there.